All right. Welcome to today's live Christmas art drawing. Today is May 11th, 2022. So today is going to be a piece from one of my favorite Christmas specials growing up. I was just having a discussion with my wife the other day, Christmas specials. Like we always called them specials growing up, but they were just your half-hour cartoons or your Rudolphs or all that kind of stuff. But we always called them specials. I don't know if they're specials anymore, but I think is because like before they would start, they used to say something like "now your special presentation" or something like that. But this was from one of my favorite Christmas specials growing up, and one of my favorite characters growing up as well. So we're just going to go right to it and draw it, and we'll see how this turns out. Now, I have a feeling if this was made in today's world, this thing would look quite different because it would have like LEDs all over it. It would be quite flashy, but this is pretty primitive here. So what we're going to do is draw a nice little throne. So we'll start with your basic throne design, then we'll build off of that. And this would be something that any person in the world, kid, adult, it does not matter, would want one of these. Not even when you were just a kid. Nowadays, you would want one now. My allergies have been acting up really bad today, so if I sound a little more nasally than normal, that would be why. All right, so now we got the arm of the throne is going to be here. I believe it has a bit of a curl to it. So it's probably round on the outside there, and then you might see a little bit of a curl there. And then it comes in. You don't really see the bottom too much because the thing that sits on this throne's feet are quite large. So they're going to go here. All right, now we got, trying to think his hands are on the front here. And put his thumbs off to the side there. All right. Then this is the top of the boots or feet, whatever. Then this would be the knees, and then this is where you would sit, would be right in this area here. I'm just going to draw a little circle there. That's someone sitting there. I'm not going to put anything there. But that would be where you would sit, because this is going to be a giant Santa Claus on a throne. And then I'll explain where this is from if you don't know. But this would be where Santa would be here. The arms are going to be here, but you really wouldn't see too much of the arm because of the way his hands are. But then you have his head up here. This isn't really the final shape of it, but I'll zoom in and work on his face a little bit here. Now this is mechanical, so it's a robot, so these pieces are, I would assume, made out of metal. They look like they have like rivets and stuff on them. Again, this would be something any person would want to get for Christmas. And the way this item worked would be you would sit on this robot's lap, and his little hat would come off of his head on a robotic arm and place it on your head. And then anything you could think of would pop out of a little sack of toys next to him. So this is from the Garfield Christmas special. I'm going to draw him with the hat off because I'm going to draw like the robotic type arm. So this part stayed on his head, like the bottom part of the hat. So his head, I'm trying to think if his eyeballs were light bulbs. I'm not too sure. I'm just going to draw his eyes on here. I can't remember if they're eyeballs or not, or light bulbs or not. So we're just going to draw them like this, blue. So the way it would work, like I said, a little robotic arm would come out of here. I'll draw some circle pieces or whatever. I don't remember how many pieces this articulated, but I'm going to have it drawn down to here. And then the top of the hat was here. And then you had your hat. And like I said, you would just sit on his lap. Anything you could think of when this was on your head would pop out of the side. So this had a bunch of vintage looking light bulbs, but for when this movie came out, these wouldn't have been vintage. It would have just been what a regular Christmas bulb looked like. Um, they had big ones off on the side. So I'll draw a few of these off the side of the chair. Then we'll draw the sack of toys on the side. Then we'll go right to the inking layer. All right. So that's basically the premise of the Santa chair. And then, like I said, he has a sack on the side here of toys. And all this was lit up, very 80s. Those are lights on the bag. And now, if you remember the special, or maybe if you don't. So John gave this to Garfield for Christmas one morning, but it was obviously all a dream. But Garfield didn't know that at the time, so he was sitting there and it had a nice intro song. And while it was going on, Garfield's just sitting there singing a song about giving me more. And all the stuff that he's getting, like, if you ever go back and watch it, the stuff that he's requesting or thinking about, if you had this machine, I don't understand why he would want some of the stuff. But anyway, he asked for there's like 5 different basketballs in there. There's obviously jewelry, gold, all that kind of stuff. But he asked for the most random stuff. I think a few lasagnas as well. All right, we're going to go to the inking layer. We're going to pick the syrup one, the one that I like the most. I think we're going to start with the Santa hat here. I'm going to go a little bit thinner. Okay, let's see. All right, this had lights on it. I assume they were lights. I'll finish up the armature here for this robot hat that came off of his head. I really don't think that there were like 3 bends in it, but it's good enough for what I'm doing here. Put in as many as I want. All right, now, again, I don't remember if the eyeballs were light bulbs, so I'm just going to keep them the way I have them here, regular eyes. I know they were blue, so we'll just do the outline on them for now, like that. Pretty sure his nose was a big red light bulb as well. Kind of looks like the Pringles man there. All right. Let's see. Can't remember what the top of his head looked like, so we're just going to leave it like that. Then his beard. Like I said, his beard, I know was pointed. Can't see it now where I have it because of that. But I know this went like that, and I know there were a bunch of lights around his beard. I'll try to close all these in now so when I'm coloring it, it doesn't mess up. I'm not going to be historically accurate here with all the coloring just because I can't remember what most of this was. So we're going to be playing it by ear as I just sketch in the ear. All right, so the glove, put it on top of the chair like that. The other arm here. Okay. I'll do that's probably too high. I'll do the arm here. Like I said, I'm going to keep them round because I think they were a rounded type of armrest. We'll do what would be, I guess, his black belt right at the top of his knee bend, because then here's the bottom of his feet and the top of his boots. I'm pretty sure they were just like one big solid boot. At least that's how I'm going to draw it today. And we'll finish up the rest of this chair. Then we'll do the top part of the chair. While I'm down here, I'll do the toy sack. And toys was written in yellow, but I'll sketch it in first and then we can color it. All right, there's the toy sack. Now we'll work on the top of the chair here. It's basically just a white throne as well. I just remember though watching this when I was little, and the way the movie. This is like before the intro, before the title screen. This is Garfield's dream, where John wakes him up with some breakfast lasagnas, and tells him he has a present for him, and then gives him this thing. And one of the funniest things was John's sitting on it because he's like, "Here, Garfield, let me show you." And I can't remember what John requests. I think it might be something stupid like, it's a jester hat because he's dressed like a jester. Or is it an elf? I think it's more of a jester. But anyway, he asks for the elf and then for the hat, and then Garfield's so excited he goes, "Oh, let me try!" And he throws John off of the thing so fast. It was always a laugh out loud moment. All right, so that's going to be the ink layer, so we could eliminate pencil layer. I don't know what I just eliminated. I got to go back and look at that. So we're going to reference layer this one. What did I don't know, must have been nothing on that one anyway. Okay, so now that that's the reference layer, we're going to add another layer and we'll get into coloring. Obviously, with this being Santa, we're going to stick with some reds. He had basically red everything. It's pretty much red overload here, so this is going to look kind of shitty, but it's just the way it was in the movie, so we'll add some variation to it. Sorry, I just got a Kermit Frog voice there. Allergies. All right, I knew that would happen with that. Why? But no big deal. All right, now we'll do each individual light bulb. We'll do a yellowish one. While I'm on yellow, I do have to color in the inside of that O right there. But while I'm on this, I don't mind if this is outside of the line. Sometimes I like that look. I'll fill in the toys. I'll fill in these circles. Got to go back to that red, fill in the O. Then while I'm on the red, I'm not going to keep it the same red just because it's pretty much all red here. Then we'll just go more of a pinkish hue for these rosy cheeks. Then we'll do, I believe, it was very pinkish in tone, like a flesh pink. I think we're going to do that. That seems to be a bit much, but yeah, I'm going to lighten that up a little bit. That might be too much. But when I drop that in there, I do see that I messed up the beard part. So that's going to have to be white. No big deal. We're just going to come in here. Let's see. There we go. Make this part white. Then I could add some color to the lights in the beard. I don't remember if they were all individual lights. I want to say they weren't. So we're going to kind of just stick to the same color for all of them. All right. And now I think I'm going to do those same color on the circles on the hat. I'm going to have to just hand draw those in. All right. Then back to the light bulbs on the chair. We're going to do a blue one over here. Then we'll do, let's see, we'll go to a purple. Then we'll do green. Let's see, what am I missing here? I guess I'm kind of missing a red, but we'll keep it a brighter red. So we got orange. We'll do some sort of an orange. And two more. We got one, and let's do more of a brighter yellow, but I'm going to do that down here so I don't have those two together. All right, then all the bases on those are going to be gray, so I'll just fill all those in gray. I'm going to just hand draw those because I see I didn't close them up. All right, that's good for that. And then the back of the throne, I believe, was like a lightish color as well, kind of like a light purple. So what I'm going to do there is select the throne like that and then draw it in because it didn't take up the whole thing. It was just basically something like that. So if I do that, I think I could fill it in. No, I could not. Okay. I'm sure there's a way to do that. I just didn't do it this time. So we'll do that here. Then we'll add some shadows, highlights. Can't forget to color his eyes, actually, because I believe they are a nice blue, but we're just going to, we'll do them a light blue. Like, again, they might be light bulbs. I just can't remember. All right, then we're going to go black for the boots and the belt. And that's the reason right there why I don't like doing solid black. Because now if I just fill that in, you wouldn't see any of those lines. So what I'm actually going to do is kind of do an in-between color. Just so you could see the variation. And then this will be the black again. All right, and then I think I got to take this one again and drop this in here. And that looks like it's pretty good for the basic premise of the character. So now we're going to do a highlight layer and shadow layer. So let me get the black out here and we'll drop the opacity and we'll start doing some shadows. There might have been a stripe down the middle of his shirt now that I think of it. So let me do that. That could help break up some of this red. And then I'll add a couple of little lines in the black a little bit later on the reference layer. But we're going to go back to the shadow layer for now. Add a couple of shadows. Anything that would be under something obviously is going to have a shadow on it. I guess I drew that hat in a different layer. All right. It's not showing up on there, but I think maybe I was on the wrong thing. Yep, of course. All right. We'll draw a few more shadows here. All right, that looks good. Add some here. Then we'll highlight some of those lights so it doesn't look so weird. All right, then the bag might have a few wrinkles in it. A few layers of darkness up top there. All right, a little bit behind them here, and then I think we're good on the shadows. We'll add a few highlights. So we're going to go to white and a couple of lighter highlights on the tops of the lights. Then we'll go and hit it with a bit of a brighter one. Okay, and since he's metallic, we're going to make just a few highlights on him here. Nothing too exciting. All right, that looks good for highlights. Now we're going to go back to the reference layer and just add a few other lines that I forgot. Like maybe one to separate his legs. Put one around that. Not sure why a robot would have hairs, but maybe he does. Okay. Then I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I'll do a little bit of a background color, then I'll add a little bit of a lens flare to some of these lights, and we'll see how that looks. So back to the background. I think I could select all of it. Yep. Then what I'm going to do is I'll pick a color. So since it's Garfield, maybe we'll go with an orange, and we'll see what happens here. We'll fill it in. That looks good. That's a ode to Garfield. Not Odie to Garfield, ode to Garfield. All right, now since we did that, we're going to go back to my shadow layer, and I do have to drop a shadow underneath him just so it doesn't look as weird. I'm going to have to actually add that above this one. There we go. And while I'm on this layer, I'll go to white. I'm going to come over here to luminance. I will do a flare, and then let me see if I add a little pop on each light here, just to really give you the feeling of them being lit up. I think that's pretty good. So I'll keep it on white, and I'll sign it with white today. So let me have the right brush on. Yep. Okay. And I'll go down here, sign it. And again, today is the 11th. And I don't like that 0. It looked like a 6. Turn that into a little tree. And that is going to do it for the Garfield Christmas present that every human wishes that they had. Santa Claus that lets you think of anything you want and you get it as a present. Pops right out of his little gift sack. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you catch this later on YouTube, thank you. If you don't mind clicking subscribe over there, that way you get notifications when I post videos up there. I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get to a certain amount of goals, so subscriptions over there, just so I could change the name of the URL to my show. So if you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. And if you tune into my Instagram, every day I'm drawing pictures, Christmas related pictures over there. So make sure you come back here next Wednesday, same time, same place, I will be here drawing another Christmas idea. So send those ideas in if you want. And until next week, thanks for watching.